counseling program down in Florida. That, according to a report from Woj. The team and the NBA are continuing to look into Morant's recent behavior after he flashed that gun on Instagram Live. No timetable for his return to the NBA this season. Shannon, what's your reaction?
Nothing. Really, Skip, I think the thing is that he said he needed to get help. And, Skip, I get it. A lot of times when people have a series of run-ins or incidents, they say, well, I'm going to go seek help, or I need help, I need intervention. And people don't believe that. I'm not going to do that to Ja. I'm going to believe that there's something going on in his life that's difficult for him to deal with, that's overshadowing his ability to play basketball at a high level. Even though he was continues to play, he was continuously having missteps off the court. And I understand, look, he's 23, and Ja, I get all of that. I get all of that. We've all been 23 once. All of us has made some mistakes. Although some mistakes are greater than others. We can't say, I stole 50 cents and all of a sudden I'm pulling the gun on somebody. That's the same thing, because it's not. It's a false equivalence. But I just hope he gets the help that he needs. I hope he takes as much time as he needs, because the game of basketball will be here when he comes back. But I just hope he comes back as a better man, as a better individual, and the basketball game will take care of itself. I just hate that it's playing out so publicly, and people, we've become a very cynical society. Maybe we've always been like that, Skip, but I think as social media has played out even more, we get an opportunity to see people spiral out of control right in front of our eyes. We're like, yeah, there he goes again. That's another one. But I'm glad Ja realized that he did need intervention. I'm glad that he sought that intervention, and hopefully he gets the help that he needs, takes as much time as he needs, because, like I said, the game of life is much more important than the game of basketball. So hopefully that once he gets the help that he needs, he'll able to come back and we'll get an opportunity to see that talent that we have seen on display without the extracurricular activities off the court.
Okay, to all of your points, this whole turn of events has fascinated me, because I don't ever remember one of these type situations playing out the way this one has. So quickly, where there was no suspension. There was, he'll be gone for 2 games, and then it was 4 games, and now it feels like it's 6 games. And whatever the quote-unquote suspension is, it's being doled out in drips instead of a torrent of, he's gone for
10 games, 15, 20
whatever
games,
it is, 20 games. Instead, to his credit, to his forever credit, his first statement goes ahead and acknowledges that I'm going to take some time away, that's the operative phrase, to get help and work on learning better methods of dealing with stress and my overall well-being. Okay, if you just have behavioral issues, you seek counseling individually with a therapist, and you can go ahead, you could still play basketball, and you could go to daily, weekly, whatever sessions with your therapist. Many people do that. This is very different, because right away, he agreed. You mentioned intervention. Usually you can't seek one. They have to come to you and say, hey, you have spiraled completely out of control. You need help right now. Well, as you know, the superstar athlete's mentality, especially at age 23, not prone to say, you're right, I need help. But right out of the box, the first statement from Ja is, I need help. He didn't go to an individual therapist. He has now reportedly gone to a facility in Florida, and he is now living at that facility, I'm assuming. And I have to assume he's got some issue beyond just general behavioral, that he has some sort of addiction issue. I can't, that's the only reason you go to those kind of facilities. For the most part. Again, you do individual, or you go, you have to kind of be locked into the facility for X amount of time. And it's not for a week, or it's not for 2 weeks. I'm going to guess, to his credit, that this feels like this is going to be for the rest of this season. That he's going to have to come back a new man next season. And I love it for him, because if he has a problem, he acknowledged it and gave into it. It was the first day.
Well, that's the first. That's the first
step. Okay, you have to acknowledge.
I have a problem.
You have to basically give up to give in to everything around you and say, you know what, you're right. Where's the best way for me to address this and tackle this?
Right.
Well, the best facility we know is this one in Florida. I don't know what it is.
Right.
We need to go put you in there, and you need to stay. Usually those things require, I don't know, 3 months.
Yeah.
And it can be for all kinds of issues. I don't know what his specific one is, but he's addressing it as we speak. Well, I'm applauding him because it's hard, because they're a very good basketball team, but all of a sudden basketball is completely irrelevant.
Right.
Because he had to, what was his statement of a month ago? Not worried about anybody in the West. I'm only worried about the Celtics. After last night, I don't think he'd even be worried about the Celtics, right? But his point was, we got a squad here.
Right.
We could go win this thing. We could certainly go win the West.
And Skip, when you're dealing with that, I mean, you're somebody like him. I mean, first of all, young people think they're invincible. Then you give young people millions and millions of dollars, they become really, really invincible. But now you take them out of their element. You take them away from all of that, and none of that matters. You're just like all the other addicts or whatever they're suffering from, that's in there. You're on a level playing field because your money doesn't matter, because it doesn't serve you any purpose in here. And so now all of a sudden he's looking around like, well, damn, it really stripped me down to my bare essence.
That's correct. He is humbled completely. Somebody got to him. His father, his mother, his grandmother, I don't know, somebody he really trusts said,
right,
you
this
got
thing is out of control.
This is out of control. You need to address it now, because he hasn't even started a contract that is a Deshaun Watson contract. It's exactly like Deshaun's, because it's 5 years, $231 million. It's all guaranteed, and it hasn't kicked in. It doesn't start until next year. Your future is before you.
Right. And he had, plus he has an opportunity to make another 10, 15, 30 million off the court.
Okay, and he just blew up a deal that was about to kick in for Powerade.
So no matter how much that's worth, he got a signature shoe deal.
He's got a signature, and Nike's hanging in, because Nike's statement was, we appreciate Ja's accountability and that he's taking the time to get the help he needs.
Right.
Well, the operative phrase is taking the time. This can't be done overnight. I went through it with my father 5 times, and he failed every time. It can't. You can't say, I'm good now. I've been here 2 weeks. I got to get out of here.
But you know what, Skip? It's hard on the individual. But I was listening to Ricky Smiley talk. It's really harder on the people around you, because they see you go through it, and then sometimes you relapse, and you get clean, and then you relapse. And I think that's what you're saying about with your father. And at some point in time, you're like, well, I'm done. I'm out.
Okay. Well, I was out. Because I kept going through it with him, and you go in and you go through all the sessions internally with him.
And you think he's better?
No. But he regularly says, you know what, I'm good now. I'm clean and sober. Let me, I got to get back to work. It's not going to work without me. I got to go. Well, I hope Ja doesn't get impatient. I hope he stays the course. And if it requires missing the rest of this year, so be it, because it just doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, he showed you what he could do. He won Rookie of the Year. Then he slumped. All of his stats started to crumble right before your very eyes. His three-point shooting was horrendous. And he said, I'm going to get to work. And he came back the third year, and he won Most Improved Player. Well, it's pretty hard to go from Rookie of the Year and in your third year to go to Most Improved Player. It showed you he's got character in him. He's got want to. He's got work ethic. So you got to work on yourself.
Fame and attention is more addictive than alcohol and any drug.
It is, absolutely.
If somebody would have told me, and people say, well, Shannon, you want to be famous? I tell you what, God, thank you for all the fortune, but I could have done without this damn fame. If there any way I could parcel it out, Skip, could I have the fortune without the fame? Was there any way possible? Because sometimes with fame comes other things that you don't want or you don't see. When I was going to Skip, I didn't know all this other stuff, the envy and the jealousy that would come along with this. I had no idea. I thought I was going to make some money. My grandma going to be good. My family going to be good. I'm going to be straight. Everybody going to see a guy that came out of the mud, came out of the trenches, and he made it. What's not to like about Shannon? Except the fact that Shannon all of a sudden is starting doing things, and people started to talk about Shannon in a different light. And so a lot of people didn't like that. And I'm like, well, damn, I'm cheering, I'm applauding everybody else that's making it because I know what it's like to come from that.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes you get caught up, and Ja might have got caught up in the attention being Ja. I mean, because he burst on the scene. And I told Skip, we talked about it. I said, give me Ja. You took Zion, I took Ja.
Yep.
I said, because Skip, I think this kid is electric. I think the kid, and I'm concerned about Zion's weight. And he proved me right because he was rookie of the year. And he made the All-Star team, and he's been an All-NBA player.
He has.
But there are some things that are going on off the court that I saw that I say if this kid's not careful, they're going to derail every great thing that he has going on the court by what he has going on off the court.
Absolutely. Okay, so they have addressed it in the timeliest fashion I've ever seen anybody address it. He is already stationed where he needs to be stationed.
Yes.
And I like the feel of this.
Right.
Whatever chance he has of being great just got improved.
Right.
So this is how you do it, because usually these things drag on and he goes through the suspension. I'm fine. He denies to right. everybody or all of his loved ones, I've got this. And then, you know what happens? It just keeps repeating itself.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, this is the way you defeat it once and for
right.
all, or at least be able to keep it at bay.
Yeah, and Skip has been reported that he's been in contact with his teammates via text and FaceTime. It's nice to know that you have someone, that your guys,
Sure.
they got your back.
Yeah.
And hopefully they're telling, hey, Ja, take care of you. We're going to hold this thing down for ever long you need. You take as much time as you need. We got this over here in Memphis. You know, hey, the grind, we on our grind. We're going to do what we do. And
then the amazing thing about this is the quote-unquote suspension part of this, it all became moot and irrelevant
right.
because if you go there to
right.
get help, if
yeah.
you go to a facility in Florida, you're good.
It'll be a bad look for the NBA still.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Just to suspend the man.
Because I keep reading, NBA is still investigating exactly what happened in Denver, Colorado. It's over. It's done.
yeah.
You have addressed it yourself.
Right.
In the most dramatic way you could address
right.
it.
I agree.
You are you've done it to yourself. You've said, it's my fault. I own this. I'm going to go fix this.
Right.
Way to go.
Excellent points, gentlemen. I really like how Taylor Jenkins described the process. He says, this is a healing process.